We are recording. Okay, today I would like to welcome Stan to Perseus Conversations. Stan is amazing in every way. He's an amazing martial artist, teacher, inspirer, and from the looks of him right now, it looks like he's also immortal. So, Stan, could you give us a little brief introduction to yourself, and then we'll get into the good stuff, the boxing and the Muay Thai.
Yeah, hello everybody. Stan Diamond Prescott's the name. Muay Thai and combat is the game.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I mean, so we I wouldn't say we trained together. You taught me more than you trained me with me. But back in the day, you before we did any training of any of the other stuff, you were well known as an accomplished, very accomplished, officially and unofficially boxer. So, but this
Yeah.
boxing, I would say, is it has like a unique flavor to it. Do you want to kind of explain your approach to training and how you got that flavor of the boxing?
Well, I was lucky enough to learn quite a unique old school style of boxing from my mentor and trainer, a guy named Gary Enos, who has a very unconventional way of training. You know what I mean? So the style of boxing we were taught, I was taught, is mainly focused on footwork, footwork, footwork and head movement, footwork and head movement, you know. And the thing about it, to what you don't see fighters use more nowadays, to what I learned back from him, was that the key to everything was relaxation.
Mm.
Relaxation was the key. And it was like most guys just drill getting fit, getting fit, getting fit, getting fit.
Yeah.
We used to drill techniques, because he believed in fitness of technique, physical fitness as well, but more fitness of technique. Because he would always say to me, he'd always tire me out before we train, before we got to work the technique. And he used to always say to me, the time when the technique is needed is when you're at your most tired, because you can have strength, but he used to always say the strength is only the beginning. After 3, 4 rounds, when the strength go, if you haven't got strong technique, you will never carry the same power throughout the whole fight. But if you learn the fitness of the technique and drill the technique all the time and get your fitness through the technique, you'd have a consistent power from beginning to end.
Wow.
You know what I
So
mean?
you would say, like, with that system, the uniqueness is in not necessarily what you do, but how you do it and how you train it.
It's how you train it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's to really, instead of looking to load up and be stiff and look for power all the time, now you just trust your technique. And then you find out you have more speed.
Ah. Just
Yeah, you
connecting
have
and the
more
power's
power.
there.
Yeah, you have more power. You know, you focus on certain spots. You hit in the right spots of the body. Till eventually it just comes like second nature. You know what I
Wow.
mean? You just react. You just react. You just react. But the key was the footwork, because when I met Gary, I was boxing for a few years, and yeah, I turned pro. I was training under a guy named Howard Ray, which was another unique trainer. It was one of the first guys I know that started to train using resistance bands and bungee ropes and all these type of things. He was unique in that way,
Wow.
and his training was good, but it didn't really suit me,
Okay.
if that makes sense. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Because not every style of training is gonna suit you, your
You got to
physique or whatever.
find the
You
one
gotta
that
find the
fits. Yeah.
one. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's like toast and cheese, man.
and, and like, because I mean, so the way, because I've never, I think I've seen some video of your mentor in this style of boxing or approach to
Yeah.
boxing, but I've never seen sort of a breakdown of how he does things. But so would you say
Yeah.
if you got 3 people that go to him, would they all come out the other end looking the same, or would he bring out their uniqueness in what they do?
Well, one thing about Gary, there's certain punches he throws in a certain way that is unique to him.
Ah, it's like a signature.
Yeah. He has a signature. So like even the guys I train,
Mm.
they could see that signature in them.
Okay. Oh, can
You
you
know what I
give an
mean?
example? Like what would it mean anything to me?
Well, you'd have to see. It'll be like,
Oh, okay.
how can I? You'll see like a smooth footwork,
Okay.
yeah, right, and like punches coming from different angles, weird angles. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Right hand over the top and stuff like that. But like with Gary, he will train you to suit you.
Mm.
But if you look at, I could see someone right now and said, yeah, I know he trained with Gary.
Ah. All right. So that telltale.
Yeah, yeah, he's got a certain signature with his movement that you can tell. Hold on a minute. You train with Gary, yeah? And they will say, yeah, or they train with someone who Gary trained. You can see the signature fall
Wow.
through. It's
I
that
mean,
smooth
you're
footwork.
known. I mean, you're known. Apart from that, you're also known for power as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
would you say, as you just said, through the smoothness, the power comes out. So, would you say your power
yeah.
increased from that training, or did it was more easy to access?
I will say two things. It increased
Hmm.
and it became more effective.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's what you want
more
to hear.
effective. Yeah, understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I got to learn certain things through Gary that, a lot of fighters over rotate. And when
Mm.
you over rotate, you lose power. It looks good, you know what I mean? And it
Really,
looks
really.
telegraphed. You really rotating, you're
Yeah.
losing power. You're losing power. You don't need to rotate so much.
Just
You
enough.
know what I mean? Yeah, and there's a lot of emphasis on over rotating, and then you find out when you look at the way the feet turn, it kind of crosses the body, doesn't go through with the body. It's to keep everything in line.
Oh, I see. I see. So one
Yeah,
question I always like to figure out how people. So let's say a left hook. Would you
yeah,
guys be rotating the left foot, or would you be rotating through the torso? Because some people over rotate the foot, right? So they're like
yeah,
they're twisting that left foot out, and the heel's almost flying forward. So like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so what? How would that body mechanics go into
Well,
that?
there's two ways. There will be two ways I'll throw the left hook. We'll throw the left hook. Yeah. One, what a lot of people don't do is I'll throw it out of my back more than my arm.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So, like the right shoulder, instead of me over rotating the whole body, I just whip back the right shoulder. Yeah.
Ah, I got it. I got it. Okay.
You understand? I'll whip that back. So that way now I'll get more speed.
And less
I
telegraph.
get, less telegraph and I'm not losing power. You know what I mean? I'm not losing no power. I'm not over rotating. So certain cases, I might turn the foot. I
Mm.
might turn the foot, but more time I'd line up the shoulder, whip the shoulder. You know what I mean?
Ah, interesting. That says it all, I think. Yeah, the depth there, the depth in the training. Awesome.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
from the boxing, I mean, like, you did that quite a while, right? And then you were
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
getting
yeah,
right up there in the boxing, and then there was a
yeah.
transition to other arts. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is like while I was boxing, I was doing Thai boxing and Taekwondo at the same time, during
I
the
never
same
knew you
time.
did the taekwondo.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I've done
Wow.
Taekwondo for a few years, yeah, for the amount of years. You
And
know what I
way
mean?
back
I've
with
done
Muay Thai as well. Wow.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So, like,
Because
what made you go into those?
you know what? Uh, it's funny enough. It's what made me go into boxing.
Oh, really?
There,
Okay.
because right when I was younger, when I was in my early teens, like about what 17, 16, I actually trained mantis.
Southern.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I trained mantis. A lot of people don't
Oh,
realize that. Yeah, right. So I was doing my first the first martial art I ever done was judo. Yeah, because
cool.
my brother was doing judo when we was at school, and he was good at it, and he
Right.
taught me. So when I first started judo, I went from white belt straight up to brown belt when I was a
Are you
young.
serious? That's just like, let's give him a brown belt.
Yeah, because it's funny because I knew all the stuff already because my brother was teaching me. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So because I was a big fan of like kung fu movies and kung fu,
Little
so
Shaw Brothers
I
and all
started
that.
to I started to learn this mantis fist. You know what I mean? At the time, the guy was he was at London Bridge or Tower Bridge, and then he moved over to Mile End. You know what I
I know
mean?
you mean Sifu Tony Long.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
Still
yes.
wire mantis.
Mantis, yeah. I trained with
I
him. I
was at
trained with
Mile
him
End.
for.
I was at Mile
He
End.
was at Mile End. Yeah, I was with him when he was at three. Yeah, I
Wow,
trained
there
with
you
him
go.
in the 80s. In the 80s, yeah,
Oh,
when I
London
was
Bridge
a
days. They
youngster.
were legendary.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then what happened is I met a friend of mine, a good friend of mine,
Hmm.
and we was talking, and he was like, "All right, you do this mantis stuff." He says, "I don't." He didn't really rate it, so he goes, "You do all that stuff. I do boxing, so let's make a deal." So I said, "All right, and what's the deal?" He said, "If you lay a finger on me, I'll give up boxing and I'll do what you're doing. I'll do the mantis stuff." So I said, "All right." He said, "If you can't, you give that up and you learn boxing." Yeah. I said, "All right, let's get it on." I couldn't lay a bloody finger on this guy.
Serious.
Serious, man. We done we done 3 minutes straight sparring. I couldn't lay a finger on him. Yeah, he
Wow.
just played with me. And I said to him, no, 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 no. We got to do another round. So we done another round, same thing. And I said, nah, we got to do another round. Done 3 rounds. He won every single one round, hands
Blimey.
down. Yeah. And then he goes to me, listen, have your bag, meet me here at this time. So I said, okay. So the first place I learned boxing was at an amateur boxing club called Fitzroy Lodge.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a good friend.
down by Kennington at the time. Fitzroy Lodge was,
Oh,
you
man,
know
yeah,
what I
all bringing
mean?
back memories of all the places I used to go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Then we
Wow.
moved from Fitzroy Lodge and we went to St Monica's boxing club that was in Hoxton Square
Oh,
up by
yeah,
Old
yeah.
Street. So basically, that's where I really learned boxing and learned the whole game. You know what I mean? From there, you know what I mean?
That's
Trained
epic.
with
Oxford,
Harold
I think,
Laker
yeah,
from
there's a lot
there.
over there, right? There's a JKD over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bob
because
Green and all that. Yeah.
Bob Breen was right next door.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, what a
because
place to train.
the church was there with St Monica's at the top. Then there was Bob Breen's Academy
Yeah.
right next door to St Monica's box.
That's epic. Yeah,
You know
loads
what
of
I
people to
mean?
train with.
Yeah, so it was way back in the
That
old
was,
days over by East that side. It was brilliant. But
that's
yeah,
epic.
then Bob Breen they were doing Thai boxing there and all
Mm.
that. Yeah, so I had a friend of mine that was doing Thai boxing, so I was supposed to do that with him. I wanted to do something. You know what I mean? Because I seen it, I watched it, all that. You know what I mean? And I knew a good friend of mine that was doing it at the time. He's the first guy that really told me about a guy named Julian Howe. You know what I mean? Brilliant Thai
Mm.
boxer, brilliant coach. Big up Julian wherever you are, brother. You know what I mean? So he was the first guy I know that was doing it. And he was doing it from how old were we? He'd been doing it from he was about 16. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So he's been doing it a long time. He's
And
fought
these were
all
the
over the
early
place.
days.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the early days. This was the early days. This was actually back in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. So there's a lot
So
of, I suppose that was a lot of Dutch influence back then as well, right?
yeah. At that time, the Dutch they were leading the way. You know what I
Mm.
mean? With the Dutch style of Thai boxing, they were kind of leading the way.
Wow, so you started that way back, and then so what? And then I met you what early
happened
2000s.
now?
Oh, go on. Sorry, carry on.
What happened? So they introduced me to it, but I weren't really doing it. Then I was
No.
supposed to do it, yeah, with a friend of mine. We were supposed to go to to a club together, and he went and left me out. He blew me out, man. You know what I mean? So I remember I met another friend of mine, and he said to me, we were talking, and I was telling him about it, and he said, "Oh, well, I'll tell you what, man, come and do some taekwondo, man." So I said, "What?"
Oh,
He
I
goes,
see.
"Yeah." So I was boxing at the same time. He said, "Come and do some of that, man." He says, "Yeah." He said, "You know what? It would take time. I think you'd be good at it." So I said, "All right." Went with him. You know what I mean? And he introduced me to a trainer named Claude Williams. Claude Williams, brilliant trainer,
Awesome.
brilliant guy. Yeah, he was one of the. I've been blessed. I've trained with some good guys, and he was one of the best trainers I've ever trained. To believe
Because
it
that
or
was
not, he was
when
one.
Taekwondo was kind of like really solid, wasn't it? It was like it was
Yeah. Well,
really
it
like
was.
impact.
Yeah, because I started Taekwondo in the 90s. Yeah,
Mm.
and Claude was a guy. I think he went to the Olympics. You know what I mean? He trained with some Korean guy. What was the guy named Master Kwok or something like that? I can't remember the guy's name, but he
Yeah.
trained with his trainer was actually a Korean street fighter.
Add some
You know what I
legitimacy to
mean?
it. Yeah.
So his Taekwondo was different
Yes.
to some of the others. It was more based on knocking people out.
Like power and get the
Yeah,
job done.
it was more based on there weren't no messing around. It was more based on taking people out. So I remember the first time I trained there. I trained with him for months. I was getting my ass kicked, man. These guys were beating me up left, right, and center. I didn't say a word. You know me. I just didn't say a word. I got on with it, got on with it, got on with
Just
it.
cracked on.
Beat up week after week, getting beaten up, beaten up. And then one day he looks at me and he pulls me aside and he says, "Meet me here Wednesday at 6." So I says, "All right." I come down there. We were working one kick for about 3 hours.
Oh my word!
Yeah. Said, yeah,
Wow.
this is forget all the stuff we do in the club. Just focus on this one training.
Okay, this is the stuff.
Yeah, understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying. One bang, 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 right leg, left leg now, right leg again. We was working this one thing for hours. And then he says, "Yeah, meet me here Sunday at 2 o'clock. Yeah, 1 o'clock." So you got to realize how hard it was for me, Simon. Yeah, because I'm working the doors Saturday night. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to
Thursday,
be up.
Friday, Saturday. I'm working.
Jeez.
Yeah, right. And I'm training boxing as well. Yeah, Saturday. And sometimes my boxing sessions are twice a day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I've had to squeeze all this in. So I'm
That's a
there, you
heavy
know what I mean? I get
weekend.
heavy weekend, man. You can imagine. I get home 6 in the morning, have to get ready, rest up, be at this gym on Sunday for 1, 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? To train again.
Blimey.
Train with him, train with him, train with him. So about 2 months in, I'll go back to the class on a Monday. I'm kicking ass.
Oh, that shows you,
Now
didn't
I'm
it? Yeah.
kicking butt. I'm kicking butt. But it was different. It was a bit hard because I'm a man. I like using my hands a lot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because I couldn't really use my hands so much, so I had to fight their way. So I'm kicking ass. Now all the top guys don't want to spar with me. They're complaining. Some of them were complaining to him, saying that I'm sparring too rough.
Too hard.
Yeah. And God bless him. I remember he said, "Listen, whoever can't take it, leave." Because he said, when you were kicking his ass, he never complained once.
There you go.
And now he's kicking your butts, you're complaining. He said, whoever can't take it, leave. Me and Claude trained. I trained with him. The last time I must have trained with him was 2001 or something like that. I trained with him for years. And
Jesus, it was a good decade or something.
yeah, I trained with him for years. I trained with him for years. And at the same time, you could imagine something. At the same time, I'm training with him. I'm doing professional boxing, doing the boxing,
Mm.
and I'm doing Thai boxing as well.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to
I'm
juggle.
doing Thai boxing as well. And then I stopped the Taekwondo for a bit and I focused more coming into the late 90s. I weren't doing Taekwondo so much.
Mm.
I was focusing more on the Thai boxing to learn the Thai boxing. But I felt the Thai boxing I'm learning here, there's something missing.
You're missing something. Yeah.
Yeah, something was missing. So 2000 was the first time I went to Thailand. I went to Thailand. I met a trainer there, done some sessions, and I still said to myself, you know what? I'm still not.
Something.
I ain't putting my. Something ain't right. It
Mm.
ain't right. Something's missing. Then I remember I came back and I met a good friend of mine, Pat Graham.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I remember Pat. Yeah, I remember Pat because I know Pat from back in the old days from boxing.
Oh
Because
right.
Pat,
Okay. Wow. Even
Pat used to
before.
come to. Yeah, he used to come to St. Monica's boxing gym as a youngster. Yeah, and
Ah.
I used to pull him aside and teach him and help him out, show him stuff. You know what I mean? So me and Pat became good friends from there. You know what I mean? So it's funny how your journey. You ain't seen someone for nearly 10 years, and you meet up again, and you
Yeah.
start a
It's all
fresh journey with
interlinked.
that person. Yeah. So now I see Pat. So me and Pat's talking, and this always happens to me. So we're talking. So he goes, "Oh, so how's the boxing going?" So I said, "Well, I'm retired. I'm retired now because blah 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 blah." So he goes, "Okay." So he said, "What are you doing? You still doing the Thai boxing stuff?" So I said, I was doing the Thai boxing for a long time and Taekwondo, but something's missing in the Thai boxing,
Hmm.
and I've kind of lost heart with it. Yeah." So he goes, "Yeah, yeah. So what are you doing now?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I've heard about this art called Salat. I want to go and give that a try." Right?
Oh, so it begins.
That's how he gets it. He goes, "What?" He goes, "I do that." I goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah." He says, "Listen, meet me Maidaville Wednesday at this time." I'm like, "What?" He says, "Yeah." So I said, "Okay." Bang, meet him. So that journey starts.
That Maidaville Club. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I started at Maidaville and St. John's Wood.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I remember. I
Real
remember.
back in
That
the
was that was
early days.
Hasselken Panu or something back then.
Canoe. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. That was back in them days. So the Silat journey started there. You know what I
Geez,
mean?
that was already
So
3 years before I turned up. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So when did I start the Silat? Yeah, it was in 2000.
Gosh. Wow. It's a big old
Yeah,
big
yeah,
track record.
yeah,
Wow. And
yeah.
the adventure
2000.
began.
And the adventure began, and it's gone crazy. It just took me up to this stage, this stage. You know what I mean?
Your sellout was epic. Gosh, and I suppose through that mix, because that place there was a lot of highly skilled people sort of came together,
Ah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah,
you got
yeah,
exposure to other variations of Thai and these arts. So
yeah.
so the next step in your Thai journey. So to tell us what sticks out for you in the Silat, and then how that linked back onto the Thai journey.
Well, the Silat now is I heard from a good friend of mine named Greg, the guy we call him the Ghost Man. He was the guy that really was I was supposed to do the Thai boxing with back then. You know what I mean? So when he tells you, yeah, this is good, it's bloody good.
Oh,
You know what I mean? He's one
got
of
to do
those.
it.
Yeah. So we went to the Silat. So the first class I saw was the Kambangan class. Yeah.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, interesting. Looks very relaxing. You know what I mean? So I watched and stuff, and then had a chat with Steve and that lot, and then they said, yeah, come to the Monday class
Oh
in
yeah.
St. John's Wood. So that's where I first started. You know what I mean? Learning all the ground stuff and all that, and I was like, it's different. You know what I mean?
Very
It's
different from
very
that
different.
class. Yeah.
from all what I've been doing. It's very,
Yeah.
very, very, it's different. You know what I mean? So, I said, all right, let me stick with it. So doing it. And at the same time, remember, I'm still training with my boxing trainer. Even though I've retired, I'm
Yeah.
still training with my
Yeah.
boxing trainer. And I'm still seeing my Thai boxing trainer and Taekwondo trainer now and then as well. So still keeping up with some of the other arts as well. You know what I mean? So I'm doing it. And I said to myself, certain things is brilliant,
Yeah.
but I know certain things doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth. I know certain things doesn't work, but certain things is brilliant, you know.
Oh,
And
yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard for people who have just done that art to deal with just jab, 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 cross,
yeah,
jab, jab, body. You know, it's this because
the thing that,
you know,
mm,
Basan.
yeah, you see, the thing about it is some of the stuff is brilliant, but it's how it's trained and practiced.
Again, right?
Yeah, it's
Mm,
not it's not trained in an effective way. If you
mm,
understand what I'm trying to say, it's hard for
yeah.
me to explain, but it's not trained in an effective way. Some of the stuff, it doesn't work, but
I
some of
agree. I
it does.
agree. Yeah, I think like
You
many
know
things,
what I
there's a
mean?
lot of gold there. But like when you're when you're working with people that don't have that kind of that don't have that lively
Yeah,
combative experience to feed you or to work with you, all you're
yeah,
getting is
yeah. That's
a
the problem.
slow motion straight punch in the air.
Yeah,
It's not really going to help you too much when things get
yeah.
fast. But yeah,
But
so you saw some gold in there, and then there's
I
also
saw a lot of gold in there, and then and you know what? I also saw certain things that, mm, for training purposes is good, but for
mm,
realistic purposes, it ain't
yeah,
good. It
yeah,
wasn't good.
yeah, leave
But
it there.
that's the thing, yeah. Is like, and this is a message to all you teachers out there. There's certain techniques you teach people just to get their body moving.
Yeah,
It's not going
yeah,
to be effective in a fight. Explain that to the student, because if not, they'll take that and go out and commit suicide.
absolutely. These days,
Yeah,
getting mad out
there's
there.
certain, like, when I teach certain stuff, and I tell my students from the beginning, you don't fight like this. This is just to help
Mm,
you move, just to
yeah,
improve your movement, but you would never fight that,
yeah.
And it's very important that teachers tell this to students, because when they do think they can use certain techniques in a real situation, they'll get hurt.
Big
They'll
time.
get hurt.
Quick.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
Yeah,
that's an
they'll get
interesting
hurt.
question there,
So
Stan. Like for people that really don't have, because I mean you're working the door 3-4 nights a week, so much experience. You can
yeah,
see things coming, you can see the build up, you can see the cues and all this kind of stuff.
yeah.
So for someone who doesn't have that that laboratory, that quite dangerous laboratory to hone their skills, um, what would be like someone coming to you who said to you, you know what, oh, they don't feel very confident, they want to know that if they hit someone it's going to do something. What would you teach them? How would you teach them?
Ooh, whoa, that's interesting. Uh, First, I have to I have to look at the individual, how he carries his body, his symmetry, the way he stands up, the way he walks, and we'd have to correct his balance first.
Mm,
You understand? Correct your balance first. You understand? Because some people, my trainer taught me, you could always tell the way what a guy favors in a fight by the way he walks.
yeah.
You understand? You could always tell. Say, watch. He puts more weight on one side. That's the side he favors.
Well, it's got the eye.
You understand? So the first thing I do is teach you to be balanced. That's why footwork will be the first thing, whether I'm teaching you Thai boxing, whatever, it's the footwork. Because I want to get you balanced. And to really get that power to knock people out, knocking someone out is an art.
Yes.
Honestly, it is an art. Because you don't have to have power to knock someone out.
That timing.
You have to have trickery and hit them on the right spot. Yeah.
Well, is that your kebab?
Yeah. Look, the shot that puts someone out is the one he doesn't see. Because if he sees, he can mentally prepare for it and he can take it.
Yeah.
So you have to trick him. So the first thing I'll tell a guy straight, look, I'd explain to him, knocking out somebody is an art. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to trick a guy. You know what I mean? So I don't care who you are. I've seen big guys hit small guys and can't take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Preparations there.
Yeah, but the first thing I'll tell someone, you want to learn how to knock someone out or to be effective, is to drill the basics.
Yeah.
Drill your basic techniques. Drill them. 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 Everybody looks for the complicated things. Listen, fighting, the best fighters are very basic. Yeah?
Simple.
Drill your basics. If you drill your basics, it's like having a good house. The moment you build that foundation, you can always extend. If the foundation is crap, you can't extend. You can't build on it. So drill your basics. Drill your basics. The moment you drill your basics, you always improve. You always improve. You give yourself room for improvement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So fundamentals.
Is the key. Yeah, is the key. It's the key. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So the first thing I will tell them is, look, drill your basic footwork and drill your basic punches, your basic kicks. Just drill those. If you know what I mean, I had a guy in East West named Raf when I was teaching him boxing. And he used to get frustrated with me because the first 6 months I never let him throw a punch.
Oh, just pure footwork, body movement.
Right. Only footwork and body movement. And he used to be upset. And I explained, I said, Raf, let me tell you something. We have a saying. Your feet get you into trouble and your feet can take you out of trouble. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
Right? So wherever your feet is, your hands will follow. If your hands move before your feet, the feet won't follow. You'll be in trouble. Yeah. So I taught him that when he got his footwork right, and then I started teaching him punches, this guy was bloody awesome, man.
Wow, just all clicked in.
It all clicked in, man. Look, I remember the guy, he went to Poland and he sparred with a guy out there that had about 200 fights and he knocked the guy out, man.
Oh.
And I remember he phoned me from Poland and he was excited. He goes, "You were right." I said, "What do you mean I was right?" He said, "I took the guy out." I said, "What do you take him out with?" "Took him out with the left hook." And I said, "Oh, good on you." I said, "Wow."
There you go.
He said, they couldn't keep up with my feet. I said, "I told you, the speed is not in the hands, it's in the feet."
How cool
feet
is that?
Take you there. Feet get you there. You know what
Stan,
I mean?
you still need like a YouTube channel or a like a big. More people need to know about you. They really do.
You know what? I was doing a YouTube channel called Diamond Tips, but I actually stopped, and I'm gonna start again. But on Instagram, you can catch me on Instagram, Stan Diamond Prescott. You know what I mean?
I'm a subscriber. I'm following.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I put stuff up twice a week.
Good.
Yeah, I put new stuff up on usually on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? And on Thursday, I do a thing called Throwback Thursday, where I show you old clips of me training in Thailand. You know what I mean? Training here and there, and
this is gold. This is gold.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wonderful segue there, Stan. That's a wonderful segue because like your training in Thailand, your latter training in Thailand, I think there was a few different
Yeah.
trips, right? There's a few different trips.
Yeah.
One very traditional and very, very kind of old style
Yeah.
Thai, and I think one very
One
modern
very
with
modern.
like with an ex UFC guy, or was it UFC guy or another MMA guy?
Yeah, I went with Alex Reed, God bless him.
Yeah,
Lovely guy, Alex Reed. You know what I mean? One of Britain's first MMA top fighters,
yeah,
Alex
one of
was.
the early guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I mean,
Yeah.
those,
He
those
was
I imagine
actually
those journeys are very different.
yeah. You know, Alex Reed was actually he was on that Big Brother. He won Big Brother program and all that, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he got
Yeah,
well
because
known.
you know, he was married to Katie Price at one stage.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know, that's how we got.
uh,
You know, and
he
so,
sort of got well
but Alex
known.
is a brilliant guy, brilliant guy. You know what I mean? Lovely guy, skilled in like MMA, wrestling, jiu-jitsu and all that, you know, and we went to Thailand together and we ended up becoming friends and we trained at when we was there, it's like we were seeing which was the best gyms to train in at the time. So
Uh,
every 2, 3 days we were going to another gym, to another gym, to another gym. You know what I mean? And yeah, I get to spend some time at the Fairtex gym. You know what I mean? And I got to meet at that time he was champion, a guy named Yod Singh Thai. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah, I got to meet him. You know, I interviewed him. I got an interview with him that I'm gonna start releasing certain little pieces of it because at the time I
Very
didn't
cool.
put the video interview on. I just done the one for the magazine for
Yeah.
Martial Arts Illustrated. You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, the traditional Muay Thai one mm, was
This I'm
very
very
interesting.
interested in seeing how it all links together.
Yeah, you know. Before I start all that, I got to big up John Silman, man. My man
Oh yes.
from day one, my select man, John Silman. John's always had my back, always been in my corner. And I'd like to Bob Sykes as well for giving me a platform on the magazine, Martial
Yeah,
Arts
yeah.
Illustrated, when it was out. You know what I mean? So
I think I'm
big up
probably
to
going
you
to
guys. But
invite those guys. Actually, I'll be nice to have a little chat with them as well.
yeah, yeah, John's got some very interesting stories of his journeys up and down Indonesia. You
No,
know,
I mean, he could fill a book with those.
he's learned some vast Silat
Yeah,
styles that has never been seen over in the West. You know what I mean? So big up
not never been
Johnny.
seen
But
off that island. I think. Yeah,
yeah.
no, definitely,
And
definitely.
he's got
I
his
agree.
thing. You know, if anyone into the Silat, check out the way. The way he's on Facebook, he's on Instagram, he's got his YouTube channel. The way, check that out. You'll see some great Silat being performed on there.
I'll put all
You
these
know what I
links
mean?
in the details below. No worries.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me about your traditional trip. Tell me about your traditional trip.
Oh yeah. So I ended up and you know, again, thank good that started from East West, you know, meeting some good people there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So got invitation to go to the Golden Horse Temple in Chiang Rai. So when I got there, it was everything was very different because I got to realize what was missing from the Thai boxing that I was learning.
There it was.
You know what I mean? So when we went there, we had to do some ceremony and we learned a very traditional way. Now, the key is the esoteric accent, the esoteric part of the Thai boxing is not being taught nowadays.
This is the big thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it's kind of
So
slowly going.
it's going and it's kind of sad really because that is the real essence of the Thai boxing because a lot of the rituals, what you do with Thai boxing, especially before you fight and stuff like that,
Mm.
is where the essence of the art is, you know. in the like learning the full Y crew, Ramon, you know, because the Y crew is like the dance of the warrior. It's the dance
Mm.
you do at the beginning. So that dance, it's like honoring your teachers that has come before you, the ones that are coming after, you know, like honoring the Buddha as well. And again, it's like it honors the monarchy of Thailand too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's funny because if you do your Y crew and you meet a traditional trainer,
Mm.
he can tell you exactly where you learned.
Oh, it's that detailed.
It's that deep. It is that deep. It is that deep. He can say you learned from the north here, there, there, there. You learned from the south there. You learned from this. You learned from that. Because what people don't realize is that there is different styles of Muay Thai.
Mm.
It's not just one style. It's different styles. The style I learned was the Myanmar style, but it's the Myanmar Tiger system that I
Wow.
learned. You know, I also touched a bit on there's some other styles like there's Muay Chai. You know,
Muay Thai, yeah.
there's Muay Chai, there's Muay Karat. You know what I mean? Like how can I put it? Like the old styles come under like a Muay Baran, yeah, which is
Mm.
just like you know, like you say, like kung fu. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
like
So there's
Muay.
different styles of kung fu. So you know, you just say yeah, Muay Baran, but there's different styles of it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Those are the traditional arts. There's different
So,
styles. There is different styles.
so the one that you went into, what would characterize the system that you learned, and what makes it kind of unique versus those other styles?
Well, it's that it's a very relaxed style.
Again.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very relaxed style, and it's more Myanmar is more evasion.
Ah.
You know what I mean? You know, when certain people see certain Thai boxing styles, it looks very hard and thingy. Not all Thai systems are like that. Some is very smooth, very relaxed. The Myanmar system is very relaxed. It's focused on like more evade and attack, attack and evade.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So more than standing there trying to block everything, you'll be more slipping and making your opponent miss and countering him. You know what I mean? But the thing about that, because you got to realize where that system was used, yeah, you got guys that were fighting in battles and they can't afford to wear armor.
Yeah, moving quick,
Yeah,
you're gonna get
yeah.
taken down.
So yeah, they can't afford to wear armor. I mean, some of these guys, they just got pant trousers on and they're fighting barefoot, man. Yeah,
Wow.
so they got to be able to. You can't stand up and take a blow with someone if they got a heavy armor on. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got to be able to move quick and slip and you know what I mean, dodge. You know what I mean? That's why the first thing you learn is a thing called Samkun, which is a three-step evasion. You know what I mean? So the first thing you learn is how to evade.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A guy will throw three kicks at you. You have to move away from all three. Then you throw three at him. He has to move away from all three. You understand what I'm saying?
Very cool.
Then you
Very
start
cool.
working stuff in and this that. So it's very we're like more some systems are you see a lot of pad work. The pad
Mm.
work is for conditioning, but
Yeah.
you'll be mainly training how to evade and attack, how to evade and attack. It's more of it's a very thinking man's type thing style,
Wow.
but
So
it's very smooth. Yeah, very smooth because the emphasis is really on good footwork.
okay.
Again,
Which matched up
so
with you really well. Now, am I right in thinking? Am I right in remembering that your experience of the training was somewhat unique? Because I
yeah,
believe yours was much. I mean, if you're comfortable to talk about it, if not, no worries.
yeah.
Do you want to share anything on that?
I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't
Go on then.
mind.
Let us know how your training went in a more
well,
more less physical way.
Well, you know, for all the skeptics out there, I'm gonna upset you.
Don't worry, the people that will be listening to this are probably more inclined to.
Well, I learned most of my training through meditation. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's you know, a lot of people may think, no, it's an old way. It's a way of transferring knowledge. The old teachers transfer knowledge to certain students. You know what I mean? Because when I was there and I was learning direct from, I was learning from Paco Bar and from his son Chor and the head nun Maid. Yeah, I got an injury where the ball of my foot, I lost part of the ball of my foot. A big piece of skin got cut off. Yeah, so I had a foot injury, and I had to sit down in meditation and get information transferred into me.
Like it made
You
you
know
do
what
it
I mean?
another way, didn't it?
Yeah. I got taught another way. You know what I mean? And you know, I got taught some of the breathing exercises. We learned some of the breathing exercises. You know what I mean? And the chanting that goes with the movements of the Muay Thai. You know what I mean?
Because people
Because
probably don't know about that side of things, right? The energetics, the chanting that go
nah,
inside the
nah,
system.
nah, nah, nah. A lot of people don't know that because that's not what they see. You see, people only work off image.
Yeah.
They see an image portrait saying, "This is that Muay Thai," and then when they come and they train with someone like me, or they train with someone very traditional, and then they see a certain side to it, they say, "Oh, that ain't Muay Thai."
That is Muay
Why
Thai.
he hitting the pads? Why he standing so stiff? And because the art ain't. That's not what it's about. It's actually it's very. It depends where you learn. As I said, different systems. You know what I mean? But Muay Thai is an art that it's very based on footwork. Footwork is key. You know what I mean? And the esoteric side is the key because that's the part that gives you the way of life, the way to live. Because you know, I remember my teacher said to me, you know, before he took us on as students, he said, "There's three people that do Muay Thai." I said, "Yeah." He said, "People that just do it, people that play at it because they want to be known as a tough guy." And he said, then there's the people who want to learn, who learn it. Yeah. So he says, which one do you want to be? And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, someone that just does it and is just looking to look good and for people to be a tough guy, he will fall. He said, another guy that's just doing it, he hasn't got that. If he loses a fight, he's finished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He said, the guy who learns it would learn from everything he does. You know what I mean? But like before he explained that to me, I said, I want to be a guy that learns it. And he said, the right answer. Because if I did have picked any of the other two, he would have said, nah, on your bike.
On your bike.
Yeah. So I said, I want to be the guy that learns it. And, you know, so through training there, learning it, that's when I had to get a Thai name.
Oh, yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So my Thai name is Sinto Tong. Yeah. So that's the golden lion. Yeah.
So perfect.
So that's what I named my school after. That's what I named my training after, you see?
Oh, look at that. Awesome.
Sinto Tong Muay Thai. Yeah.
So
when people ask me, oh, so wait, what's your system? I'm named after me.
That's true. But it sounds really good.
Yeah. Named after me. So, yeah, I got to learn, you know, through like meditation, you know what I mean, and the chanting, And then he said to me, I remember he said to me, listen, the most important things to practice with our system, he said, is the Y crew
Mm.
and the tiger walking. He
Oh
says,
yeah.
learn these two things and everything else will come. Everything else will come. You know, and up to today, I still practice those two things.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And it all comes.
it all comes. It all
Yeah.
comes. It all comes. I still do my meditations. You know, how can I put it? When you learning it,
Mm.
it becomes your life.
Yes.
Muay Thai for me, it's not about the fight. It's about the fight of life, the struggles of life.
Yeah.
You know, because when you do your Y crew is what you do if you perform it before you go into battle.
Mm.
So you must always perform it like if that's the last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You put
Yeah.
everything into it. You put your heart, your
100%.
soul into it. You know what I'm saying? You use that as your connection to the Buddha, your connection to the universe through your Y crew, through your
Wow.
movement. Yeah, you live it. It becomes a lifestyle. Even if
Mm.
you're not doing it physically, you do it here.
Do it
You know
mentally.
what I mean? You have to
Wow.
become it, you know? Then
Very cool.
when you retire from if you're a fighter and you retire from fighting, you're still living that graceful lifestyle.
You still got it.
You still
Just
got it. You'd never lose it because it is you. You live it. You know what I mean? That's the difference between when someone wants to learn it and when someone's just doing it.
with the
When
other
you just
choice.
doing something, yeah, after a while you stop doing it.
That's
The
it.
only
It's
time you should stop learning something is when you die.
well, yeah,
You know
absolutely,
what I mean?
and you can see like it is you. It's it's sort of one and the same now. Stan,
Yeah.
really inspiring to hear, and I'm sure other people will feel the same. I think I've got 8 minutes left here on this recording.
Yeah.
So while you're on, do you want to tell us? And of course, I'll put all this information below as well. But do you want to tell us about any teaching you're doing at the moment and how possibly people could get in contact?
Yeah. Well, I'm teaching at a place called Gallowell Road at the moment, and that's in between Bermondsey and Surrey Quay. And
So
if
this
you
is for
want to
Londoners,
contact me,
everyone. This is for
this
Londoners.
is the London. This is for London. This is for London, ladies and gents. Yeah. So if you want to contact me, you could contact me on Stan Diamond, Stan Diamond Prescott on Instagram. Just DM me. You can DM me, or you can contact me on Facebook, Stan Diamond, or there's a Singto Tong Facebook page. You could DM me there. But I'll say, yeah, just DM me on Instagram.
Awesome.
Leave your details, anything you want to know, and I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you.
Wonderful. I'll put all
You know what I
those
mean?
below and make sure they're all nice and clear for everyone.
You know what I
And
mean?
yeah, so people can go from there. Um, Anything else you want to share before we close off?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Sharing wise, basically, you know what? I just like to give thanks for being here, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like to give blessings to